The Iliad by Homer, Book 9. You're listening to Classics Made Clear, classic texts translated with accuracy and accessibility for today's listener. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share these videos with your friends. So the Trojans kept their night watches, but the Achaeans were seized by a terrible panic, the companion of cold fear, and all their best warriors were struck with grief too heavy to bear. It was like when two winds rise and stir the fish-filled sea, Boreas and Zephyros, the north wind and the west wind, blowing from the land of Thrace. They come suddenly, and the dark water lifts into waves, throwing seaweed far across the salty water. In the same way, the hearts in the chests of the Achaeans were torn with distress. The son of Atreus, Agamemnon, was struck deeply with grief in his heart. He went among the clear-voiced heralds and ordered them to call each man by name to the assembly, but not to shout. He himself worked alongside the leading men. They sat down in the assembly full of sorrow. Agamemnon stood before them, shedding tears like a dark spring that pours its shadowy water down the face of a steep and rocky cliff. Groaning heavily, he spoke to the Argives. "My friends, leaders and rulers of the Argives, Zeus, the son of Cronos, has trapped me in bitter ruin. He is cruel. Before this he promised me, and nodded his head in agreement, that I would destroy strong-walled Troy, and then sail home. But now he has planned a terrible deception and tells me to return to Argos in shame, after losing many of my people. So it must be pleasing to Zeus, the mighty one, who has destroyed the heights of many cities before and will destroy many more, because his power is greater than all others. But come now, let us all do as I say. Let us flee with our ships to the beloved land of our fathers, for we will never again capture Troy of the wide streets." So he spoke, and they all became silent. For a long time the sons of the Achaeans sat without speaking, weighed down with sorrow. At last Diomedes, strong in the war cry, spoke to them. "Son of Atreus, I will be the first to speak against your foolishness, as is my right in this assembly, my lord. But do not be angry. You once insulted my courage before the Danaans, saying that I was unwarlike and weak. But all the Argives know the truth, both the young men and the old. The son of crooked counseling Cronos has given you gifts in two ways. With the scepter he gave you honor above all men. But he did not give you courage, and that is the greatest strength of all. My lord, do you truly think the sons of the Achaeans are so unwarlike and weak of heart as you say? But if your own heart is set on going home, then go. The way is open to you. Your ships stand near the sea, the many ships that followed you here from Mycenae. But the rest of the long-haired Achaeans will stay here until we destroy Troy. And even if the others should flee with their ships to the beloved land of their fathers, still Sthenelus and I will keep fighting until we see the end of Ilion. For we came here with the help of a god." So he spoke, and all the sons of the Achaeans shouted in approval, praising the words of Diomedes, the breaker of horses. Then Nestor the horseman stood up among them and spoke. "Son of Tydeus, you are strong in battle beyond the others, and in council you are the best among men of your own age. None of the Achaeans will blame your words or speak against them. But you have not finished your argument. You are still young, and you could even be my own son. So now Zeus has honored that man, and crushed the army of the Achaeans. But since I was blinded by madness and gave in to my angry heart, I now wish to make things right and offer gifts beyond counting." Before all of you, I will name the splendid gifts I will give. I will give 7 tripods that have never been placed over fire, 10 talents of gold, 20 shining cauldrons, and 12 strong horses that have won prizes in races. A man who owned such things would not be poor, nor lacking in precious gold, if he possessed all the prizes these swift horses have won for me. I will also give him 7 women from Lesbos, skilled and blameless in their work. When he captured the well-built city of Lesbos, I chose them for myself, and they were the most beautiful among women. I will give them to him, and with them I will return the girl I took from him, the daughter of Briseus. And I will swear a great oath that I never went into her bed and never lay with her, as men and women commonly do. All these gifts will be given to him at once, and if the gods allow us to destroy the great city of Priam, then when we divide the spoils, let him load his ship as full as he wishes with gold and bronze. Let him also choose for himself 20 Trojan women, the most beautiful after Helen of Argos. And if we return to Achaean Argos, the rich land of farms, he may become my son-in-law. I will honor him as I honor Orestes, my beloved son, who is being raised in great wealth. I have 3 daughters in my well-built house, Chrysothemis, Laodice, and Iphianassa. Let him take whichever one he wishes without paying any bride price, and bring her home to the house of Peleus, and I will give him gifts with her, a dowry greater than any man has ever given with his daughter. I will also give him 7 well-settled cities, Cardamyle, Enope, and grassy Hyre, sacred Pherai, and meadow-rich Antheia, lovely Ipeia, and vine-covered Pedasus. All of these lie near the sea, down toward sandy Pylos. In them live people rich in cattle and rich in sheep. They will honor him like a god with gifts, and under his scepter they will carry out his just commands. All this I will do for him if he puts aside his anger. Let him yield. Even Hades does not yield. He is pitiless and cannot be persuaded. And for that reason, he is the most hated of all the gods by mortal people. And Achilles should give way to me, because I am the greater king, and because I can claim to be older than he is. Then the Gerenian horseman, Nestor, answered him, Son of Atreus, most honored lord, king of men Agamemnon, no one could now scorn the gifts you offer to Lord Achilles. But come, let us choose men to go at once to the shelter of Achilles, the son of Peleus, or rather, let the men I name take the task. First let Phoenix, beloved of Zeus, lead them. Then let great Ajax go, and noble Odysseus, and let the heralds Odios and Eurybates go with them. Bring water for their hands, and command silence, so that we may pray to Zeus, son of Cronos, in case he will show us mercy. So he spoke, and his words pleased them all. At once the heralds poured water over their hands. The young men filled the mixing bowls with wine and passed it around to everyone, pouring a drink offering into the cups first. Then, after they had poured the drink offering and drunk as much as their hearts desired, they prepared to leave the shelter of the son of Atreus. The Gerenian horseman Nestor gave them many instructions, looking closely at each man, but most of all at Odysseus, urging him to do everything possible to persuade the blameless son of Peleus. So they walked along the shore of the loud roaring sea, praying again and again to the earth-shaker who holds the earth, asking that they might easily persuade the great heart of the son of Iacchos. Soon they came to the shelters and ships of the Myrmidons. There they found Achilles, delighting his heart with a clear-sounding lyre. It was a beautiful instrument, carefully made, with a silver crossbar. He had taken it as part of the spoils when he destroyed the city of Aetion. With it, he was soothing his spirit, singing about the famous deeds of heroes. Patroclus sat across from him alone and in silence, waiting for the son of Iacchos to finish his song. Then the others approached, led by noble Odysseus, and they stood before him. Achilles jumped up in surprise, still holding the lyre, leaving the seat where he had been sitting. Patroclus also stood up when he saw the men arrive. Swift-footed Achilles greeted them and said, "Welcome. You are friends who have come to me, and you are greatly needed. Even though I am angry, you are still the dearest of all the Achaeans to me." So Achilles spoke and led them forward. He seated them on chairs covered with purple cloth. Then he quickly called to Patroclus, who was standing nearby. "Son of Menoetios, bring a larger mixing bowl. Mix the wine stronger, and prepare a cup for each man. These are the men I love most who have come under my roof." Patroclus obeyed his dear companion at once. He placed a large chopping block in the firelight and laid upon it the back of a sheep and the back of a fat goat. They also placed on the block the back of a fat pig, thick with rich fat. Automedon held the meat while brilliant Achilles cut it up. He sliced the pieces carefully and put them on spits, while the son of Menoetios, a man like a god, made the fire blaze high. When the fire burned down and the flames died away, he spread out the glowing coals and laid the spits across them. Then he lifted them onto the supports and sprinkled the meat with sacred salt. When the meat was roasted and placed on the platters, Patroclus took the bread and set it on the table in fine baskets, while Achilles served the meat. Achilles himself sat down across from noble Odysseus on the other side of the wall, and he told his companion Patroclus to make an offering to the gods. Patroclus threw the first portions into the fire. Then they reached out their hands to the good food laid before them. When they had satisfied their desire for food and drink, Ajax nodded to Phoenix. Noble Odysseus noticed the sign. He filled a cup with wine, lifted it to Achilles, and said, "Good health to you, Achilles. You do not lack your fair share of the feast, either in the shelter of Agamemnon, son of Atreus, or here now in your own hall. There are many good things before us to enjoy. But it is not the pleasant feast that fills our minds. Instead, we look upon a very great danger, favored by Zeus, and we are afraid. We do not know whether we will save our strong ships or lose them, unless you put on your strength and fight." For the proud Trojans and their famous allies have set up their camp close to our ships and the wall. They have lit many fires across their army, and they say that they will no longer hold back, but will fall upon our black ships. Zeus, son of Cronos, shows them favorable signs, flashing lightning on their right, and Hector, raging in the greatness of his strength. Hector rages wildly, trusting in Zeus, and he respects neither man nor God. A terrible fury has taken hold of him. He is praying that the bright dawn will appear as quickly as possible. For he threatens to cut off the curved ends of our ships, to set the ships themselves on fire with fierce flames, and to destroy the Achaeans beside them as they struggle in the smoke. These things I fear greatly in my heart, that the gods may bring his threats to pass, and that it may be our fate to die here at Troy, far away from horse-pasturing Argos. But come, rise up, if you are willing even now to save the suffering sons of the Achaeans from the roaring attack of the Trojans. For later you will feel grief, and there will be no remedy once the evil has been done. Think now, before it happens, how you may protect the Danaans from this day of disaster. My friend, surely your father Peleus told you this on the day he sent you from Phthia to Agamemnon. My child, Athena and Hera will give you strength if they wish, But you must hold back your proud spirit in your chest. A gentle heart is better. Turn away from destructive quarrels, so that the Argives, both young and old, will honor you all the more. So the old man advised you, but you have forgotten. Yet even now, stop and give up the anger that pains your heart. Agamemnon offers worthy gifts if you set aside your anger. But listen to me, and I will tell you the gifts Agamemnon promised you in his shelter. 7 tripods that have never been placed over fire, 10 talents of gold, 20 shining cauldrons, and 12 strong horses that have won prizes with their speed. A man who received such things would not be poor, nor would he lack precious gold if he received all the prizes that Agamemnon's horses have won with their speed. He will give you 7 women from Lesbos, skilled and blameless in their work. When you captured the well-built city of Lesbos, he chose them for himself, and they were the most beautiful among women. He will give them to you, and with them he will return the girl he took from you, the daughter of Briseis. And he will swear a great oath that he never went into her bed and never lay with her, as is natural between men and women. All these gifts will be given to you at once, and if the gods allow us to destroy the great city of Priam, then when the Achaeans divide the spoils, you may go to your ship and load it as full as you wish with gold and bronze. You may also choose for yourself 20 Trojan women, the most beautiful after Helen of Argos. And if we return to Achaean Argos, the rich land of farms, you may become his son-in-law. He will honor you as he honors Orestes, his beloved son, who is being raised in great wealth. He has 3 daughters in his well-built house, Chrysothemis, Laodice, and Iphianassa. You may lead away whichever one you wish, without paying any bride price, to the house of Peleus, and with her he will give many gifts as a dowry, more than any man has ever given with his daughter. He will also give you 7 well-settled cities, Cardamyle, Enope, and grassy Hyre, sacred Pherai, and meadow-rich Antheia, lovely Ipaea, and vine-covered Pedassos. All these lie near the sea, down toward sandy Pylos. In them live people rich in cattle and rich in sheep. They will honor you like a god with gifts. You are the youngest of your generation. Yet you speak wisely among the kings of the Argives, since what you said was spoken rightly. But now let me speak, since I can claim to be older than you. I will lay out the whole matter, and no one will dishonor what I say, not even powerful Agamemnon. A man who loves the terrible fighting of civil war among his own people is a man without family, without law, and without a home. But for now, let us give way to the dark night. Let us prepare our evening meal. Let the guards each take their places beside the ditch we dug outside the wall. These orders I give to the young men. But after that, son of Atreus, you must lead, for you are the most kingly among us. Prepare a feast for the elders. It is fitting for you, and not at all improper. Your shelters are full of wine, the wine that Achaean ships bring every day from Thrace across the wide sea. You have every means to show hospitality, and you rule over many men. When many leaders gather, listen to the one who gives the best counsel. For now, all the Achaeans truly need wise and careful advice. The enemy burns many fires close beside our ships. Who could feel glad when he sees this? This night will either destroy our army or preserve it. So he spoke. They listened closely to him and obeyed. The guards hurried out in their armor. They gathered around Thrasymedes, the son of Nestor, shepherd of the people, and around Ascalaphos and Ialmenos, the sons of Ares, and around Meriones, Apharius, and Depyrus, and also around the noble Lycomedes, the son of Creon. There were 7 leaders of the guards, and with each one 100 young men marched, holding long spears in their hands. They went and took their places between the ditch and the wall. There they lit their fires, and each man prepared his supper. Meanwhile the son of Atreus led the gathered elders of the Achaeans into his shelter, and he set a rich feast before them. They reached out their hands to the good food laid ready before them. But when they had satisfied their desire for food and drink, the old man Nestor began to lay out his counsel before them. Before this time his advice had often seemed the best. Thinking carefully for their good, he stood up and spoke to them. "Son of Atreus, most honored lord, king of men Agamemnon, with you I will begin, and with you I will end, because you are the ruler of many people. Zeus has placed in your hand the scepter and the laws, so that you may guide your people. So it is right for you both to speak and to listen. You should also allow another man to speak when his heart urges him to say something for the good of all, but the final decision will follow your lead. Still, I will say what seems best to me. No one will think of a better plan than the one I hold in my mind, a plan I have held from the beginning and still hold now. I have thought this ever since that day, when you went to the shelter of angry Achilles and took away the girl Briseis by force. You did not do this according to our advice. I spoke strongly against it, but you gave in to your proud heart and dishonored the best of men, a man whom even the immortal gods honor. You took his prize and now keep it. But even now, let us think of a way to make things right and win him over again, with generous gifts and with gentle, friendly words." Then the lord of men, Agamemnon, answered him, "Old sir, you have spoken the truth about my madness. I was wrong, and I will not deny it. A man whom Zeus loves in his heart is worth many armies of warriors, and the people there will carry out your rich and prosperous laws under your scepter. All this he will grant you if you set aside your anger. But if the son of Atreus himself is too hateful to your heart, even with all his gifts, then at least take pity on the rest of the Achaeans who suffer throughout the army. They will honor you like a god, and you will win great glory among them. For now you might kill Hector. He would soon come close to you in his deadly fury, since he believes that none among the Danaans who came here in the ships is equal to him." Then swift-footed Achilles answered him, "Son of Laertes, born of Zeus, clever Odysseus, I must speak plainly and say exactly what I think and what will truly happen, so that you will not sit beside me and try one after another to persuade me with soft words. For I hate that man like the gates of death, who hides one thing in his heart and says another. But I will speak what seems best to me. I do not think the son of Atreus, Agamemnon, will persuade me, nor will the rest of the Danaans, for there was no gratitude shown to the man who fought endlessly among the warriors against the enemy. The same fate comes to the man who stays behind as to the man who fights hard. The coward and the brave are honored the same. A man dies just the same, whether he has done nothing or much. So nothing has been gained for me, even though my heart has suffered many pains by risking my life in battle again and again. Just as a bird brings food to her helpless chicks, whatever she finds, while she herself suffers hardship, so it has been with me. I have spent many sleepless nights and fought through bloody days in battle, struggling against men for the sake of their wives. But I say that I have sacked 12 cities of men from my ships and 11 more by land across the rich land of Troy. From all of these we took many fine treasures. I gathered them and brought them all to Agamemnon, son of Atreus. He stayed back beside the swift ships, received them, and divided out only a few, while keeping many for himself. The rest he gave as prizes to the princes and great men. Those they still keep securely. But from me alone of all the Achaeans he took my prize. He took and keeps the woman dear to my heart. Let him lie beside her and enjoy her. But why must the Argives fight the Trojans? Why did the son of Atreus gather and lead the people here? Was it not for the sake of beautiful-haired Helen? Are the sons of Atreus the only men among mortals who love their wives? Any good and thoughtful man loves and cares for his own wife. I loved mine from my heart, though she was won by my spear. But now that he has taken my prize from my hands and deceived me, let him not try me again. I know him well. He will not persuade me. Instead, Odysseus, let him take counsel with you and the other kings about how to protect the ships from the devouring fire. For he has already done much without me. He built a wall and dug a great wide ditch around it, and fixed sharp stakes inside it. But even so he cannot hold back the strength of man-slaying Hector. Yet while I fought among the Achaeans, Hector would not dare to drive the battle far from the wall. He came only as far as the Scaean gates and the oak tree. Once he stood there alone against me, and barely escaped my attack. But now, since I am unwilling to fight against glorious Hector, tomorrow I will sacrifice to Zeus and to all the gods to sail home again, since you will no longer find any end to lofty Ilion. Zeus of the wide brows has stretched his hand over it, and its people are emboldened. But you should go back and deliver this message to the princes of the Achaeans, for that is the privilege of elders, that they must consider in their hearts some better plan, one that might save both their ships and the army of the Achaeans beside the hollow vessels. The plan they have now devised will not succeed, since I remain in my anger. But let Phoenix stay here with us and sleep here tonight, so that tomorrow he may sail with me in my ships to the beloved land of our fathers, if he wishes. I will not force him." So he spoke, and all of them sat in silence, astonished at his words, for he had spoken with great force. At last the aged horseman Phoenix spoke, bursting into tears, for he feared greatly for the ships of the Achaeans. "If it is truly your intention, glorious Achilles, to set your heart on returning home, and you are utterly unwilling to defend the swift ships from the devouring fire because anger has fallen upon your heart, how then, dear child, could I stay here behind you alone? For the aged horseman Peleus sent me with you on that day when he sent you from Phthia to Agamemnon, when you were still a child who knew nothing of the joining of battle, nor of assemblies where men become distinguished. For this reason he sent me with you, to teach you all these things, to make you a speaker of words and a doer of deeds. How then could I be willing to remain behind without you, dear child? Not even if a god himself promised to strip away my old age and make me young again in the bloom of youth, as I was when I first left Hellas, the land of beautiful women, when I fled the anger of my father, Amintor, son of Ormenos. He was furious with me because of a beautiful-haired mistress. He loved her himself and dishonored his own wife, my mother. She constantly clasped my knees and begged me to lie with the woman so that the old man would come to hate her. So I obeyed her and did it. But when my father learned of it, he cursed me terribly and called upon the dreadful Erinyes that I might never have a son born from my body to sit upon my knees. The gods fulfilled his curse. Zeus of the underworld, and honored Persephone. Then I considered killing him with the sharp bronze. But one of the immortals held back my anger and put into my mind the rumor of the people and the reproaches of men, that I would be called a father-killer among the Achaeans. So my spirit would no longer allow me to remain in the halls of my angry father. My relatives and cousins gathered around me and tried to hold me in the house with many pleas. They slaughtered many fat sheep and shambling, horn-curved cattle, and many rich pigs, heavy with fat, were singed and stretched over the fire of Hephaistos. Much wine from the old man's jars was drunk. For 9 nights they slept beside me, keeping watch in turns. The fires were never allowed to go out. One burned beneath the porch of the strong courtyard, and another in the forehall before the chamber doors. But when the 10th dark night came, I broke through the tightly fitted doors of the chamber, slipped outside, and leapt easily over the courtyard wall, escaping unnoticed by the guards and the serving women. Then I fled far away through the wide land of Hellas, and came to rich-soiled Pythia, mother of sheep, to the lord Peleus. He welcomed me gladly, and loved me as a father loves his only son, born late to him among many possessions. He made me wealthy, and gave me many people to rule. I lived on the edge of Pythia as lord over the Dolopes. And you, godlike Achilles, I raised to be what you are. I loved you from my heart, for you would not go to a feast with anyone else, nor eat in the halls until I had set you on my knees, cut the meat into pieces for you, and held the wine for you. Many times you soaked the tunic on my chest with wine you spat up in the helplessness of childhood. So I suffered much and labored greatly for you, always thinking that since the gods had given me no child of my own, I would make you my son, godlike Achilles, so that someday you might protect me from bitter misfortune. So now, Achilles, master your great spirit. It is not right for you to have a pitiless heart. Even the gods themselves can be moved, though their excellence, honor, and power are greater than ours. Yet men turn even the gods with sacrifices, gentle prayers, drink offerings, and the savor of burnt fat when someone has sinned and done wrong. For there are also the prayers, daughters of great Zeus. They are lame, wrinkled, and cross-eyed, always following behind ruin. But ruin is strong and swift of foot, and she runs far ahead of them, harming men everywhere across the earth. The prayers come afterward to heal the damage. If a man honors the daughters of Zeus when they draw near, they greatly help him and listen when he prays. But if someone denies them and stubbornly refuses them, they go to Zeus, son of Kronos, and pray that ruin may follow that man, so that he suffers and pays for his wrongdoing. So Achilles, give honor to the daughters of Zeus as well, those powers that bend even the minds of noble men. For if the son of Atreus were not bringing gifts and promising still more afterward, but remained fixed in bitter anger, I would not urge you to set aside your wrath and defend the Argives, even though they are in need. But now he offers you many gifts at once, and promises more to come. He has sent the best men in the Achaean army to plead with you, men who are most dear to you among all the Argives. Do not reject their words or their coming, though before this your anger could not be blamed. For we have heard stories from earlier times about the great deeds of heroes whenever fierce anger seized them. Even then they accepted gifts and allowed themselves to be persuaded by words. I remember one such story from long ago. It is no new thing, and I will tell it among you, my friends. The Corytes and the brave Aetolians once fought one another around the city of Calydon, killing each other in battle. The Aetolians defended beloved Calydon, while the Corytes were eager to sack it in war. For golden-throned Artemis had stirred up this trouble among them, angry because Oeneus had not offered her the first fruits of his orchard harvest. The other gods had all received their sacrifices, but to the daughter of great Zeus alone he had given nothing. He had forgotten, or had not thought of it, and greatly erred in his heart. And in her anger, the archer goddess sent upon them a great wild boar with gleaming tusks, which did much damage in the orchards of Oeneus. He tore many tall trees up by the roots, and threw them down upon the ground, roots and all, along with the blossoms of the orchard. But the son of Oeneus, Meleager, killed the boar after gathering many hunters from many cities, along with their hounds. For the beast was so huge that only a large band of men could overcome it, and many he had already sent to the mournful fire of the funeral pyre. But the goddess then raised a great quarrel and battle cry over the head and shaggy hide of the boar between the Curetes and the brave Aetolians. So long as warlike Meleager fought among them, things went badly for the Curetes, and though they were many, they could not hold their ground outside the walls. But when anger seized Meleager, such anger as swells in the hearts even of wise men, he withdrew from battle in fury against his dear mother Althea, and lay beside his wedded wife, the beautiful Cleopatra. She was the daughter of Marpessa of the lovely ankles, and of Euenos, and of Idas, who was the strongest of men in his time. Idas had even taken up the bow against Lord Phoebus Apollo, for the sake of the fair-ankled maiden. For this reason her father and noble mother called her Alcyone in their halls, because her mother mourned with the sorrowful cry of the halcyon bird, when far-shooting Phoebus Apollo carried her away. With Cleopatra Meleager lay apart, brooding over the bitter anger in his heart, enraged by the curses of his mother, who in deep grief for the death of her brother called upon the gods against him. And many times she beat with her hands upon the life-giving earth, calling upon Hades and upon honored Persephone. She lay stretched upon the ground, and her breast was wet with tears as she prayed that death might come upon her own son. And the Erinyes, walking in mist with pitiless heart, heard her from out of the darkness of Erebos. Soon the shouting rose about the gates, and the crash of towers being struck. The elders of the Aetolians begged him, and they sent the noblest priests of the gods to plead with him to come out and defend them, promising him a great reward. They said he might choose for himself a splendid estate wherever the richest land of lovely Calydon lay, 50 acres in all, half of it a vineyard, half rich ploughland of the plain. And the old horseman Oeneus himself pleaded with him again and again, standing upon the threshold of the high-roofed chamber, and shaking the fastened doors as he begged his own son. His sisters also and his honored mother pleaded with him again and again, but he only refused them the more. Then his companions also begged him, those who were the dearest and most trusted of all his friends. But even so they could not persuade the heart within him, not until the chamber itself was struck, and the Curetes were mounting the towers and setting the great city on fire. Then at last his wife of the fair girdle came to him in tears, and pleaded with Meleagros, recounting all the sorrows that come to men when their city is taken. They kill the men, the fire burns the city to ashes, and strangers carry away the children and the deep-girdled women. And when he heard of these dreadful things, his heart was stirred within him. He rose up and clothed his body in shining armor. So he came forth and defended the Aetolians, turning away the day of destruction from them. Once I have made ready my ships and hauled them down to the sea, you will see, if you wish and if it concerns you, my ships at dawn sailing over the fish-filled Hellespont, with my men eager at the oars. If the famous Earthshaker grants us a good voyage, on the third day we could reach rich Phthia. I have many possessions there that I left behind when I came here on this ill-fated expedition. From here I will take more gold and red bronze, and fair-girdled women, and grey iron, everything that was allotted to me. But my prize, the one who gave it, took it back again in arrogance, Agamemnon, son of Atreus. Go now, and tell him openly everything I say, so that the other Achaeans may grow angry as well, if he still hopes to deceive some other Danaan, always clothed in shamelessness. But bold as a dog though he is, he would not dare look me in the face. I will take part in no counsel with him, nor in any action. He cheated me and wronged me once. He will not trick me again with words. Enough of him. Let him go his own way, since Zeus the counselor has taken away his wits. I hate his gifts. I value him no more than a splinter. Not if he gave me 10 times as much, or 20 times over what he has now. Not if even more wealth came to him from elsewhere. Nor all that flows into Orchomenos, nor all that flows into Egyptian Thebes, where the greatest treasures lie stored in houses, the Thebes of the 100 gates, from each of which 200 men march out with horses and chariots. Not even if he gave me gifts, as many as the sand or the dust, would Agamemnon persuade my heart, not until he repaid me fully for the bitter insult done to my spirit. Nor will I marry a daughter of Agamemnon, son of Atreus, not even if she rivaled golden Aphrodite in beauty, or matched grey-eyed Athena in skill at handiwork. Not even then would I marry her. Let him choose some other Achaean, someone who suits him better, and who is more kingly than I. For if the gods keep me alive and I reach home, then Peleus himself will find a wife for me. There are many Achaean women throughout Hellas and Phthia, daughters of noble men who rule strong cities. From among them I will choose whichever one I wish, and make her my beloved wife. There my proud heart urges me rather to marry a fitting bride, and enjoy the possessions that old Peleus won. For my life is not worth all the treasures that they say were stored in the well-built city of Troy in the days of peace, before the sons of the Achaeans came. Nor are they worth all that lies behind the stone threshold of Phoebos Apollo in rocky Pytho. Cattle and fat sheep can be carried off by raiding, tripods can be won, and the tawny heads of horses. But a man's life cannot be taken back again once it has crossed the barrier of the teeth. For my mother, the goddess Thetis of the silver feet, tells me that I carry 2 destinies toward the day of death. If I stay here and fight around the city of the Trojans, my return home is lost, but my glory will never die. But if I return home to the beloved land of my fathers, my noble glory will perish, yet my life will be long, and death will not come upon me quickly. And I would give this advice to the others as well, to sail home. So he yielded to his own heart, and saved the Aetolians from the day of disaster. Yet they did not afterward give him the many and splendid gifts they had promised, though he had driven the evil away from them. But do not keep such thoughts in your mind. Do not let the spirit within you turn you that way, dear friend. It would be worse to defend the ships when they are already burning. Come now, while the gifts are offered. The Achaeans will honor you as they would a god. But if you go into the man-killing battle without accepting the gifts, your honor will no longer be the same, even though you drive the battle back. Then swift-footed Achilles answered him, and said, Phoenix, my father, aged and honored by Zeus, I have no need of such honor. I believe I am already honored by the will of Zeus, which keeps me here beside my curved ships, so long as the breath of life remains in my chest, and my knees still have their strength beneath me. But I will tell you something else, and you must put it in your heart. Do not trouble my spirit with lamenting and grieving for the sake of the son of Atreus. You should not love that man, or you will become hateful to me, who loves you. It would be best for you to share my cause against the man who harms me. Rule as king beside me and take half of my honor. These men can carry back the message, but you remain here and sleep in a soft bed. At dawn we will decide whether we return to our own country, or remain here." So he spoke, and silently nodded with his brows to Patroclus to prepare a firm bed for Phoenix, so the others might think of leaving the hut as quickly as possible. But Telamonian Ajax, equal to the gods, spoke among them. "Son of Laertes, resourceful Odysseus, let us go. I do not think this mission of speech will reach its end in this way. We must go quickly and carry the message back to the Danaans, who are sitting there waiting for us to return, though it is not a good one. For Achilles has made the proud spirit in his chest savage. He is stubborn and does not remember the love of his companions, the honor we showed him beside the ships above all others. He is pitiless, yet even a man whose brother has been killed accepts compensation, or one whose son has been slain. The guilty man pays a great price and remains in the land, and the injured man restrains his heart and proud anger once he has accepted the payment. But the gods have placed in your chest a spirit that cannot be appeased, a harsh one, all for the sake of a single girl. Yet now we offer you 7 women of surpassing beauty, and many other gifts besides. So let your spirit grow gentle. Respect this house. Remember we are under your roof, chosen from among all the Danaans as those who most wish to be your closest friends and most beloved among the Achaeans." Then swift-footed Achilles answered him, "Son of Telamon, Aias, born of Zeus, lord of the people, all that you have spoken agrees with my own thoughts. But still my heart swells with anger whenever I remember how the son of Atreus shamed me before the Argives, as though I were some dishonored wanderer. But you go back now and deliver this message. I will not think again of bloody battle until the son of Priam, brilliant Hector, comes to the huts and ships of the Myrmidons, slaughtering the Argives and setting the ships ablaze with fire. Yet even then, I think that around my own hut and my black ship Hector, eager for battle though he is, will be held back." So he spoke, and they, each taking up a 2-handled cup, poured out a libation, and then went back to the ships, and Odysseus led them. Then Patroclus ordered the attendants and the serving women to make up a firm bed for Phoenix as quickly as possible. They obeyed him and prepared the bed as he commanded, spreading fleeces upon it, and a blanket and a sheet of fine linen. There the old man lay down and waited for the bright dawn. But Achilles slept in the inner part of the well-built hut, and beside him lay a woman he had brought from Lesbos, Diomede of the fair cheeks, daughter of Phorbas. Patroclus slept in another place, and beside him lay Iphis of the beautiful girdle, whom brilliant Achilles had given to him after taking steep Skyros, the city of Aeneas. Meanwhile, the others came to the hut of Atreus' son. The sons of the Achaeans greeted them with golden cups, rising one after another and asking questions. The first to speak was the lord of men, Agamemnon. "Tell me, noble Odysseus, great glory of the Achaeans, does he agree to drive the destructive fire away from our ships, or has he refused, and does his proud heart still hold its anger?" Then resourceful Odysseus answered him, Son of Atreus, most glorious, lord of men Agamemnon, he will not put aside his anger. Instead, it grows even greater. He rejects you and rejects your gifts. He tells you to consider among the Argives how you yourself will save the ships and the army of the Achaeans, and he has threatened that tomorrow at dawn he will drag his well-benched ships down to the sea. He even said he would advise the others to sail home, since you will no longer find any end to steep Ilion, for Zeus of the wide brows has stretched out his hand above it, and its people are filled with confidence. So he spoke, and there are men here who heard it with me, Aias and the 2 heralds, both men of good judgment. But the old man Phoenix remained there for the night, as Achilles urged him, so that tomorrow he might sail with him in the ships to the beloved land of his fathers, if he wished. Achilles said he would not compel him. So he spoke, and all of them were struck silent, astonished at his words, for he had spoken very strongly. For a long time the sons of the Achaeans sat in silence, sorrowful. But at last Diomedes, strong in the war cry, spoke among them. Son of Atreus, most glorious, lord of men Agamemnon, how I wish you had never begged the blameless son of Peleus with countless gifts. He is a proud man even without them, and now you have only made his pride grow greater. So let him be. Whether he goes or stays, leave him alone. Later he will fight again whenever the spirit in his chest commands him, and the god urges him on. But come now, let us all follow the plan I propose. For now, let us sleep, after satisfying our hearts with food and wine. For these give strength and courage. But when the fair dawn with rosy fingers appears, quickly gather the army and the horses before the ships, urge them on, and you yourself fight among the foremost. So he spoke, and all the kings approved, admiring the words of Diomedes, breaker of horses. Then they poured out a libation, and each man went to his own shelter, where they lay down and took the gift of sleep. You're listening to Classics Made Clear, classic texts translated with accuracy and accessibility for today's listener. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share these videos with your friends.